The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
And welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And we are the show that talks about computers,
technology,
and the internet. Good
and
to
games.
see you, Shawn. And games. Yes, and games. Got to talk about games, too. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I'll be honest with you. I've needed this show today. The last 3 days have been technological heck. Nothing working. Rebooting stuff, firmware updates. My phone isn't working anymore. And
So here's the real question about that.
Yeah.
Are you patient with technology, or are you just fuming, smoke out of the ears, the whole thing?
Okay, so here's my take on it. And I know not everybody's going to agree with me, but sometimes I think that people that put the tech together, God, they're great minds. But the people that work on the other side, they forget like the basic. Why do I have to do this when I could do this? And it's frustrating when you're trying to get something done and you can't do it. Oh, because this wants you to do this over here. And that's kind of what I've been dealing with. I'm sorry.
Here's something that I've always told people. Do you think technology has feelings?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that sometimes maybe if you threaten its life, threaten to deprive it of power, it just miraculously starts working again?
So yeah, I wish that was the case for me. But
Because, at work, I get, they call it the engineering touch, right? Because they'll
Really?
be like, it wasn't working, and now you walked in and it started working. Because I just threaten it, and it starts working.
Oh, see, that's a good thing. But it's just, there's a video I've seen on social media, and it's this guy. He's like sitting there and he gets a phone call. Obviously, he's a remote engineer, and he's telling them to turn off a server. He can't access it to turn it off, right? And he's telling them, and they're saying, no, it's off. It's not working. So it shows him, getting his tech bag together, getting in his little Audi, driving to the airport, hopping on a plane, flying to wherever that location is, getting off the plane, right? Getting into an Uber, driving to the place, where the server, the rack servers are, walking up the halls, getting to the server room and looking, and no, it's still on.
That sounds about right.
So
No,
it's off.
has been wrong in Andy's technical world?
Okay, so here's what I've been dealing with. I noticed the other day my RCS chats were no longer working. And I used the Google Pixel device, the Pixel XL 9, and I couldn't figure out why. I wanted to send our daughter, a group chat, and it had a big exclamation point. And the only other exclamation points next to my chats were with you and Justin. So I thought, oh my gosh, did I miss any messages? I wasn't getting messages. I wasn't seeing anything. Couldn't respond. So I went through trying to get it to work and get all the settings. And, you go down one rabbit hole on the Pixel and then, you got to go over here and do this. Okay. Then I tried to fix that. And it was really getting frustrating. I went ahead and I called support. And he told me, it sounds like the problem is with your eSIM. So I think what we should do is flash your eSIM. And I said, no, that's okay. I would rather wait. And I will, if I have to, I'll take it in and we'll have them do that there. So I just kept playing with it, going on to the web and doing searches, not working, not what to do. I'd see different videos and I don't know where they get their settings because they weren't the same as what I was looking at. And then finally, rebooting the phone and going that whole bit 7 or 8 times, checking settings, RCS came back. So I was fine. I was like, okay, good. Next day, driving to work, my voice assistant isn't working. Now, for me and for anybody that has used an Android device, and Shawn, I know you're still in the Apple world, Siri is very limited in what Siri will do for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the way it is. And, I have an iPhone, but I also have the Android. I would say, hey, Google, and nothing would come up. It just would not work. I was hoping that because we were doing the show, I'd say, hey, Google, and I looked down just to see if my phone would suddenly come alive. Again, went through every setting, and I just couldn't get it to work. It wants to fight with Gemini because you've got Gemini as an assistant and you've got Google Voice as an assistant. I prefer the Google Voice. It's faster. If I need quick information, I was doing my radio show. I needed something quick about an artist that had passed away. And, you miss that. I couldn't say, hey, Google, can you tell me something about blah, blah, blah? And now suddenly I had to push a button and I had to, suddenly I was in Gemini mode. I wasn't in the assistant. And it's just a different experience. So that's been frustrating me, still not fixed. Then I get home and for some reason, my Roku device wouldn't work and I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. So I started looking around and I found other devices that weren't working. And I go in and I look at my router. Why is there a magenta light on this?
Ooh,
It's supposed to
magenta.
be-
That's a fun color.
Yeah, it's not a good color. So what the heck is going on here? So I kept looking at it and went ahead and rebooted the cable modem. The process is if you have an issue, unplug the modem, let it sit for about 30 seconds. Unplug the wire, the router as well, and then unplug the modem. Let it sit for about 30 seconds. Then plug the modem back in. Let it get to all of your indications working. Then I plugged the Linksys in, and it came back up. And I was like, okay, cool, that was good. But still, I had things that were not working, and I could not see the 2.4 gigahertz network. I don't know what happened to it. And the only network that was working was a Wi-Fi extender that was in another room. So everything was drawing off that. So I thought, oh, great. Now my Linksys router is gone, right? This is blue light, though. So I went through.
Isn't it like super hot there? Is your Wi-Fi, is your equipment just struggling?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Maybe the heat was setting it off because you may find, depending on where you're putting it, that could be the case. And I just went back and forth. And finally, I went ahead, did a factory reset of it. But once you do a factory reset and you reset up your network, I got that all working. Now I'm going through having to reset up all the cameras, reset all the different devices that I have that were tied to that. It's been not fun at all.
Yeah, I'm terrified when I have to do mine, right? Because I've done a lot of architecture on my network. If I have to restart I'm just running a Netgear Nighthawk, right? So nothing.
Yeah, but you have
fancy.
a NAS on your system, right?
Yeah, I've got a NAS. I've got multiple leaf switches, right? I'm configured for multiple VLANs. I'm configured for multiple Wi-Fi networks, guest Wi-Fi networks. I've done a ton of networking architecture that if I lose that, I'm sure I can download a config. You know what? I might do that during the show. Download a config just in case. Now you got me spooked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. And let me tell you, all while doing this, I also decided to factory reset my phone. And the thing is, luckily, I use a very good, strong password manager that I can access from my system. But that has not been a fun experience because dealing with Wise, I can't get my Wise cameras back. I have no idea. I go into Wise, I log in, there's no cameras there at all. It's like I have to reset the entire Wise interface. So you can imagine.
That sucks.
Yeah, you can imagine how that would.
So, oh my gosh, that sucks. I would recommend for the Wise stuff, right? Have you been able to log into the web portal and see them?
Yeah. No, I can't even see them on the web portal. It's like that account, no cameras ever existed because it said, let's add your cameras. And I'm like,
I bet it's a newer version of the app and settings didn't come over.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
That would suck too. I would, again, if that happened to me, I would just pull them all out and get new cameras. I'd go to a different brand. I don't know.
I'm so upset.
I have so many devices and so many light bulbs and stuff that, oh my God, that would terrify me.
Four Wise cameras that are located in different places. And then I have a Nest camera. And that was another one. You would think, okay, I still have the box from my Nest camera. I've had that for many years. You would think when it came time to add that camera that I had to add back to my Nest interface, you would think they would have put in the box maybe the, login code for the camera, like the QR. No, where is that? It's at the very bottom of the camera. Whereas it at the highest point of my house.
Physical security, I guess.
I have to get on a ladder. I have to climb a ladder, hopefully not break my neck. I tried zooming in with a camera, trying to get a good shot so I wouldn't have to climb the ladder. No. So
Oh,
all of this
man.
at the same time, not everything meshing, old passwords being pulled up by the app. And I'm like, no, I will use my other password, or I have to recreate what it's just, yeah, it's frustrating. It's been frustrating.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, if I lost all my Y stuff, I don't know what I would do because I would have to resync so many rules that I've got built in. And
That's
oh,
one of
man.
the things that I thought about too, Shawn, is like, why don't they make it so you could just back up and save those configuration
But
files?
it should be safe. Like, I don't understand. It should be like if I log in, even if Caitlin logs into hers,
Right.
it pulls what I have on my account.
Exactly. But
So
why my cameras aren't there? It's so ridiculous.
maybe somebody else can see your cameras now.
No, but nobody, because I'm the
No,
only
I
one
know.
who had access. Yeah, no, right? But
That's a poke at them for the issue they had 2 years ago,
that's right.
where if you logged into the app, you saw other people's cameras.
Can you share my camera with me, please?
Yeah.
But no, and that's the frustrating thing about it. I finally reached out to Wise, and just to make sure we're logging in with the right account. I went through every email I have for login. Nope, only one account. So I reached out to them. I got to call them tomorrow. If I give them the serial number off one of the cameras, which I have here, I'm thinking maybe they can pull that and see what that was tied to. In case there's some other, did I use a Hotmail address? I don't know.
That's
Really
wild.
frustrating. So yeah, and then I've got to take my Android after finally getting tech support today. I've got to take my Android into a local shop because I reset the phone. That still didn't bring the voice assistant back.
Hey,
I've watched
I will
every
say though, like,
tutorial.
when I had the issues with my phone where I took it, I upgraded something, or I went to go get the FaceTime camera replaced or something, and then they were like, "Oh, you get a battery upgrade," and I had to like downgrade from the beta because I was running in the iOS 26 beta at that time.
Right.
That is something that Apple just does really, really well. Is the iCloud backups, right?
Yeah.
It took a little while, but it was pretty seamless in how you could get right back into doing what you needed to do. And I think the biggest thing that took the longest was because I don't delete any of my messages. So my messages I think I have like 56 gigs worth of iCloud messages.
Oh my Lord. Wow.
Because I've always I've never deleted any iCloud messages I've ever had. I've never turned it off.
But so if somebody sends you an attachment in your messages, like, hey, here's a photo of us
it
all
lives
hanging
in the
out,
cloud. It's in the cloud.
and that increases the size of the.
Oh yeah, I'd have to.
Oh,
I'll look
wow.
it up. I'll look it up during the break. But it's like 50 or 56. It's like somewhere above 50 gigs of total.
So would you say
storage.
you're a text hourder? Is that you just never clean it up?
And text hoarder? Yes, I. But I can go back like I can go back when you had your iPhone. I can go all the way back to all the messages I've ever sent you.
Right.
All the messages I've ever sent Justin, because he had, I don't know if he had an iPhone then, but
Yeah, he did, I think.
Caitlin, I can go, my mom, my dad, and ever since I've had an Apple address or an iCloud, I've never just turned it off.
Important question. So you keep text messages, photos that are stored on your phone when you take a photo. Are you offloading those and saving those?
No, because I bought the 512. I have the 512 gig iPhone, and
gosh.
I've still got. I mean, here, how many photos do I have on my phone right now? If I look, I've got 11,439
No,
photos.
you don't. 11,000.
11,439 items. So that's videos, photos, and everything.
Now, do you have an extended service plan with Apple? Did you get 512 is a lot of storage, but I'm thinking, because I keep getting notifications from Google saying you're running out of space. Your 15 gigabytes is just about used.
I mean, I pay because I do a lot of the archiving stuff for my family. I have 100 gigs of iCloud storage that we barely put a dent in between me and Caitlin.
Right.
And then, well, maybe I have more. Maybe I have more than 100. I think I maybe have 1 terabyte for iCloud storage. Right. And then I do 2 terabytes of Google, and I think I'm running at like 700 gigs total across all of my family accounts now. So I have quite a bit of cloud storage, but it's also backed up. I have it on my NAS, right? And my NAS is 14 terabytes, I think, 12
Oh, man.
terabytes, 12 or
Wow.
14 terabytes. And that's not even, I'm not putting a dent into that just
Right.
because I just have so much space on that.
We're talking about, okay, 11,000 photos. That's a lot of people. And some people might be going, well, wait, if you lose your phone, you lose all those photos. That's not going to be the case because
It's all backed up to iCloud.
it all gets backed up to iCloud. There are
And
people.
it's syncing. So it's not only is it syncing to, so I hate the Photos app on the phone. I don't like Apple Photos. I do live in the the Mac ecosystem, right? I just
Right.
hate Apple Photos. I don't like it. I've never liked Apple Photos. I always like Google Photos. What you
Yeah.
can do is on your iPhone, you can set it up so it'll automatically back up to Google Photos also.
Right. Yeah.
So not only do I have my iCloud backup, but if I were for some reason to lose my entire iCloud backup or, forget to or change a setting so it doesn't restore for 6 months or something, all of my photos and videos are still going to Google also,
Right.
which is great because that's the easiest way for me to categorize stuff. If I want pictures of my kids,
Mm-hmm.
I have a folder that is just every picture I take of Max is put into a folder. Every picture of Daniel's is in its own folder. My parents, my grandparents, etc. I can just quickly organize by faces. And some people think that's creepy because you're, giving Google all this face data, but it makes it convenient for me to not, if I need a photo off my phone or I need to send it to somebody or print it, I just go to Google Photos on my computer desktop, wherever I am, where I say, Caitlin because she has this, we share our Google account.
Yeah.
She can log in and see my pictures. I can see her pictures from her phone and they update to the same album. So we're just constantly getting all of our photos from both of our devices live in the same place, which is fantastic for sharing, especially with my parents and stuff, because neither of us really use social media. Caitlin's not a heavy social media user either, but we send a lot of pictures to our family through Google.
Yeah.
Because it just works.
But I am a screenshotter. So if I don't know about you, but if I go through my phone right now, I have got, all the text from number one, how to do an effect in After Effects to, how to fix my phone. I've been doing that. So I'll see something and I'll screenshot it. And that way it's saved on my phone.
Oh, look at that. 1,000 screenshots. Even 1,000 even. The screenshot I took today made it 1,000 even. I screenshot everything.
I would love to hear from one of our listeners that also screenshots and see who has more than you on their device.
Oh, yeah, but I screenshot, like if I see something on Reddit that I think is interesting, if I see something on a website that I think is interesting, I screenshot it because then I'll circle back to that. I never circle back.
Never.
But
never.
So 1,000 even. Yeah, it's crazy. 1,000. That's just screenshots.
Now, if there's anybody listening right now, because we get some people that have not had experience too much with smartphones, screenshotting gives you the ability to press a couple of buttons on your device and actually take a picture of your screen. Yep. So if you're on a screen, like say you're on Amazon and you're like, oh, I really like that, and you want to find a quick way to save just that page with the photo on it so you can share it with somebody, say, hey, I'd like this for my birthday, or I'd like to get this, and you just want to be able to remember what it was called, you screenshot it. Or you find an instruction on how to cook something, a recipe, screenshot it. Screenshots can be great. And you can even, like with Google Photos, I've done this before. Gloria's said, oh, I want to learn how to make that. So she'll send me a photo of the recipe. I'll go ahead and go to Google Photos, and with Capture, you can actually pull the text from that image.
Yeah, I can do that from here too. Yep. It's fantastic. Yeah.
You could do that with the iOS devices too, right? Can you do that, or is that strictly an?
No, I've used it quite a bit to screenshots a Reddit thread or something that I saw, and copy it and put it into a notes tab. I have a bazillion notes. I use the Notes app a lot too. So but it's like I find stuff that's interesting. Like here's a jar of chain wax for dirt bikes that I wanted to remember. I wanted to remember the brand name of, so when I need to go buy more chain wax for my dirt bike, I can go, oh, I remember taking a picture of that. Or it's like a screenshot of like our switcher inputs that I wrote down on a sheet of paper that I took a screenshot of, or, so it's like, it's stuff like that. I've got screenshots of everything, but 1,000 screenshots.
Screenshotting is, people will say, oh, it just takes up space. You can go through, if you have to, you can go through and delete them. or you could offload them if
Nah,
you're like me and
I don't delete photos,
you
Andy. I keep so much media from everything that I've shot, edited.
how do you weed through it? Can you put keywords on them?
Oh my
I mean,
dude, when I got my NAS,
all right.
this was during COVID. So I was archiving photos and
I
stuff at the
remember
same
when you
time.
got it. Yeah.
I did a hard drive inventory. I went through and inventoried all of my the Data Hoarder subreddit has a kind of a comprehensive list of like, if you want to get your ducks in a row,
Right.
do these things. It's like, start by categorizing all your hard drives, what's on them, serial numbers, data, volume, size, etc. I went through and then I went drive by drive and took and organized it. So I said, here, okay, I took it all from this drive, put it in the NAS, went to the next drive, said, oh, here's duplicates. Didn't duplicate it, and then organized it by year, by month. Dude, I went down a rabbit hole with this.
Wow.
I'm organized like by year this is for photos and video.
Yeah.
By month. And if you can go in and for mostly it's just stills, but I went through and just blitzed through it. So that when I scanned in all of my stuff with my fast scanner, my fast 4x6.
Got the Epson 680, yeah.
Right. It was all, I went through and organized it all by year and month. So when I scanned them, this was October 86.
Right.
This was November 2019. This was, and I could just dump them right into those folders.
Well, what I loved about the 680, when I got a chance to play with it a couple of times, we've looked at that, is that you could actually, before you scan, if you gathered every photo up from, say, 1978 trip to London, right? You put them in the scanner, in the meta tags, you could actually put 1978 trip to London. So when they come out and they're in it, you could drag them to a folder, 1978 trip to London.
I'm telling you, man, that scanner saved me weeks of time in terms of organizing, and I mean, kudos to Epson because it's incredible. It's super easy to use, front and back, postcard scans. It's an incredible scanner and it just helped me. But organizing, I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole of now we're talking about scanners and data hoarding and stuff, but
I didn't want to tell you though, I did look at their new scanner, the Epson ES590W, which is mainly for documents, receipts, but it's ultra fast. And it was funny because I was trying to compare it. I was showing it on Fox 11 and I brought in a flatbed scanner, you can scan one page and then it goes through and then, there's your image. But I took this, a page of papers from the doctor that was, about an inch thick from when I had my little heart thing going on. I took that, I put them in the scanner and it was just like, boom, 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 45 pages per minute.
It says it'll do 100. You can stock it up with 100 sheets.
100 sheets of paper, and you can collate them, you can meta tag them, so you can put them in a folder. Because I am a paper hoarder. I have file cabinets of just papers, not in files, just packs stacked up in the file cabinets. So I'm starting to go through. That 590W is available now. They've got a new 620W that's going to be coming out, and I believe I think that's another photo scanner. But to compete with the 680W, that is probably the top of the line.
What was the model number for that? The
620? It's the 620W that I believe is already out. The 590W came out a couple of months ago. We had it like a week after they put out and got a chance to play around with it. And I was impressed with receipts were good. If you you can buy a subscription to be able to collate those a little better, but it still made it very easy.
The 620 is available. It's $429 on B&H.
Right.
It says it'll do 45 pages per minute or 90 images per minute.
90. Wow. And it'll do even the small. You have those small pictures. I was going through my mom's photo albums because, I told the story about finding my mom's relatives and now I'm finding more relatives. We're getting more pictures. And I found an old photo album from when my mom turned 15. So that would have been 1950. But I don't know why they would print the photos so small. They're like maybe double postage stamp size, but yet the scanner can handle them.
Yeah.
Just close them down and put them through. And it's been really good. So yeah. All right, we got to take a break. We come back. Got a good question in from Roberta, and I know Shawn has the solution. So we're going to tackle that one coming up with Tech Talk Radio. You can find us on the web. Drop us an email, techguys@techtalkradio.com. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd. Like Andy said, find us on the web, techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Shawn and I, during the break, we kind of went down another rabbit hole of talking about digital capturing and digital imaging. And it was kind of interesting because, Shawn, you brought up a good point that I had heard some trivia this week that a good majority of people aren't printing their photos anymore.
Well, think about it, right? Look around your house. How many pictures? You have pictures hanging up on the wall, maybe.
Right.
But how many people have photo albums anymore or picture books? I mean, they might be in a dusty old bin somewhere, right? But you think about 20 years ago, you could go over to somebody's house and by the fireplace or over the mantle or in a corner, there was a shelf of photo albums.
Yeah.
You could flip through and see pictures. And now I still have all of the physical pictures that I've scanned. Now they're tidied away and organized. Right. And if I wanted to go get them, I could. But I have a whole corkboard full of pictures that I think are fun, family related, that are just up there that I can go over and look at and see. And it's 4 generations of my family that I can see on the wall. And people forget that when you touch those, there's physical touch memory, like scent memory, things like when you hold on to stuff, whether it's an old Polaroid or an old 4x6 or whatever, that there's just a mental component there that is so foreign to some people that live in a complete digital world. And I'm in the minority here on that I prefer printed images.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people do. I think they do too. It's cool to be able to show somebody maybe on your computer. It's great. Digitizing them is great though, because you can share them a lot easier with family members. You know, my cousins that are in England, they've been sending me, photos back and forth. They've been digitized, but having that print, it is something about that, I think. And I'm worried with the number increasing of people that aren't printing them. Some say, well, it's because I can't print them. Well, you could go to Walgreens. You could do them right there. They got a kiosk that is very easy to do.
We talked about it in the earlier segment about how I have all my stuff tied into Google. All I have to do is go to Google and I say print to Walgreens. In 20 minutes, I get an email saying your prints are ready.
You don't have to go to the Walgreens to do it. Sitting there at the kiosk where people are walking behind you, look at it.
No, that's how we print. We print all of our Christmas cards every year at Walgreens. I doodle them up on the computer. I save a file. I send it to Walgreens. And in 30 to 40 minutes, we have 75 to 80 Christmas cards that we can address and mail out.
That's a great idea.
Walgreens does it. Walgreens, Meijer, Walmart. You can do them on all of them. And then you can take your camera in or your flash drive in and do the kiosks. But those hardly don't exist anymore either.
Now, if you do want to control it a little and you want to print your own 8x10s, you want to do your own 11x14s, I recommend the Epson. It's the XP 970. And this is a printer that I've had for a few years. The only thing is you will use a lot of ink for this to do these. You get the photo paper, the glossy photo paper. You buy the ink, but you control it yourself. Now, if you want to take it into, again, Walgreens, that's going to be a kind of a quicker way to go and less money. So I went to visit my friend Joey, who lived here in town, and I took a photo album for him. I just took, digital photos, did the same thing. Went to Walgreens, had them print them, bought the album there, put them in an album, and gave them to Joey, so that way he had them. But I mean, it's that having that print there's something special about it. We could carry them on our phone, but again, having your own print to carry, that makes it pretty nice, which this works into a pretty good segue here. You have done Super 8 movies. I know that you've done that. How do you do that? Getting your Super 8 movie reel, into a digital format?
Well, I mean, for the layman, I would tell them to use Legacy Box because that's the cheapest and best one that we found.
Scan My Photos does it too.
Scan Your Photos does it
on the
too.
show. Yeah.
but I have a Wolverine. I think it's called a Wolverine Pro movie maker.
Really?
I bought it during COVID when I got
Mhm.
all my family's film stuff. It's a step-by-step scanner, so it actually you load the film into a carousel and it goes across a light bed scanner, and it's got an imager an image processor that points straight down into it, and it actually clicks frame by frame. So has a stepper motor that pulls the film across, and it takes an image of each frame of video, and you can actually go in and overscan, so you can actually get the leaders, and everything.
Wow.
And if I'll send a link to Andy so he can post a link to some of the films, but I think it was like $349 or maybe $400
Right.
for the scanner. But it is time consuming
Oh, yeah.
because it is a step by step. I mean, you
30,
think
what
about
is
it,
it,
right?
30 frames per second? I think
24 is
24 per
typically
film,
film
yeah.
speed. I don't remember what speed these were shot at. But I mean, it takes a picture, maybe two every second or every other
Right.
second. So it's click, 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 click. Right. So you imagine, okay, I've got dozens and dozens of film reels, and
Right.
I'm talking not just the small ones. I'm talking the 500 footers.
Yeah, yeah.
But you imagine frame by frame, and these frames aren't very big.
Right.
It's taking 5-6 hours for a 500-foot reel to go through.
Yeah.
And that's
not upscaling, that's not generating, that's just getting that picture.
It's just taking the pictures. The actual scanner does put it into an MP4 format,
Right.
which is a little bit of a bummer because I would like a little bit more control, because it does all the white balancing, and you kind of have to prep it a little bit in terms of
Right.
The quality, the image control, but it does a really good job. That's why I overscan, because you can punch in and you can do some a little bit of optical zooming on it. But I found that overscanning was better because you got the full image, and sometimes if it got caught or bumped or something, you had a little bit more leeway when it was overscanned. I'm very happy with it.
And it's called Wolverine?
Yeah, I'll provide a link for you. I bought it on B&H.
Kodak has got one out that is Super 8 as well. I would love to find 16, because a 16 millimeter, because back in the day when I was a nerd, I would go to Star Wars and Star Trek conventions, and there were vendors that were there, and they would sell film reels, usually, movie trailers on 16 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to watch them, I'd have to go to the library, because they had a 16 millimeter projector at the good old Huntington Beach Public Library there, and I could watch my trailer over and over and over again. One of those trailers I still have is the original Star Wars trailer, which, and so I saw it online. Somebody had it all digitized and everything, and it had that music, it had the narrative, and I thought, I own that 16 millimeter trailer. It was kind of cool, but I don't know anywhere that'll do 16 millimeter conversions, so I'd have to do it with
16 millimeter. I'm not sure. You're starting to add commas into the price at that point. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, so I have to tell you about a little rabbit hole I fell down this week, and I'll be real quick about this one. You're talking about film, and I talked about upscaling, and I got a chance this week, and I did a segment on Fox 11 to get a look at Topaz Labs video generation. Now, Topaz Labs has been around for a while. TopazLabs.com. If you're a photographer, they make all kinds of great photographic elements and tools for the photographer. Maybe a photo isn't shaded properly, or maybe you want to work it a little with maybe some color correction. You want to do some, gentle tweaks on a photo. Topaz has a wide range of different filters that you could use for your photography. Professional photographers. I was speaking with Guy, who we were talking about that, who works here at the station, and he was telling me, about how he likes using Topaz, because when it comes to doing some corrective stuff, it doesn't give like a waxy look to the face, which some people just go into Gemini and say, here, process this, and it just doesn't look great. It looks uncanny. So I got a chance to look at their video generation. They have a couple in there. One of them is called Astra. What Astra will do is, say Shawn, you're out on a shoot, you're doing a video shoot, and suddenly you want to get a slow motion shot of something. Getting that can be a bit of a challenge. Now, if you have Premiere, Resolve, some of the other programs that are out there, Pro Tool, you can kind of work around and get a slow motion effect. But what they have from Topaz Labs with Astra, I mean, you can go way slow-mo without losing quality, and it keeps everything up, and it's pretty amazing. If you're on the site, you can look at some of their features, but their new one is Starlight Precise 2.5. So this is how I tested it, Shawn. I have a video shot with Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. Tommy came to Tucson back in 2005 when I was working at the rock station in town in Tucson, and we had him in the studio. And only thing I had with me was, I want to say it was a Logitech camera, but it was 320 by 240.
Yeah, perfect.
That quality is pretty bad. So I shot the video. It's on the Tech Talk Radio YouTube page. So, one of the ones that I put while I was working at that station, we started it, I added it, and it's still there. It's not tech, but a lot of people find it, and a lot of people comment on it. It still gets so I thought, let's try with the Tommy Chong video. So 320, 240, I decided let's go 1280 by 720. It can go all the way up to 8K if you want it.
I'm seeing that. I'm looking at their website right now.
But I decided just do that. Started processing it. I was able to get a key from the folks at topazlabs.com to test it out, try it out. And it started processing, and about, I want to say 15 minutes in, my computer shut off. Completely, boom, gone. Wouldn't start up either. And I thought, oh, what is going on here? What is happening? So finally, going through, trying to turn it on and off, throwing my hands up in the air. I told you I had a bad tech week. I came back to it. It had cooled down, and I was able to get it started again. So I'll do it tomorrow. Let's let it cool down. So let me see what else I can do with it. So I tried different things and got about not even halfway done, shut down the computer. It was so frustrating. And it showed me, though, the piece of footage, because it did still create the MOV file. And when I opened it up, oh my gosh, it was like it was shot yesterday on high definition.
That's cool.
I was so amazed by the quality. Little uncanny in the eyes a little, but I mean, it used AI generation. It went frame by frame. It totally corrected it and gave me a high definition output, although part of it, no sound. So here's a good tip for us from Tech Talk Radio today. It's the summer. Make sure your computers are clean. Decided to give it a try again. And I was sitting in front of the computer and I looked at the beautiful lights I have. I have colored RGB lights in the front. And I noticed, wait, what's that on top of the fans? I took the case cover off to get to the fan. And I had I want to say a rug of dust that was completely circling the fan, all three fans. I thought, So I went and got my little vacuum that you had told me about some years ago. I got it, started cleaning it up, cleaning everything up, and then to open the side of the case, and I could feel that air. I started measuring the temperature, 118 degrees, 120, and then cleaned it, and I noticed it was running at a gentle 88 degrees, and it got through the entire process without shutting down. So if you're trying to process stuff, you got to remember, keep the dust out of your computer. Yes. It'll run a lot better.
Clean your computer. This is your yearly reminder to clean your computer.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We have that listener email from Roberta standing by. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd. Find us on Facebook at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So when we were in our pre-show, Andy and I were talking about which listener questions we were going to bring in. He said, I got a great one from Roberta. And I said, oh, perfect, because I have an answer from Roberta.
Yes, you do.
And
I figured you'd be the perfect person for this. This would be great.
So Roberta says, love your show. Half of the stuff I understand, half I don't, but I listen and absorb. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
I have about 50 DVDs of my favorite movies, and I want to get them in my computer. Is it legal? And if it is, how? With like 4 exclamation points. Thanks. We'll be listening and taking notes. Roberta from Saharita.
That's a good question because I know a lot of people listening have their favorite DVDs. I don't know if you saw this, but Kill Bill, they're coming out on VHS, a special edition that's going to be out.
Good.
But people who have DVDs, they maybe don't want their DVD player, they don't have it or their whatnot. And maybe they want to watch it on their computer or
Yes.
the big screen TV with USB.
It's actually a very simple process. The hardest part is going to be finding a computer with a DVD platform in it.
Yeah.
Finding a tower that has a DVD burner or a DVD player in it that can actually receive the DVDs. So yes, there is a way, and I just did this, and I'm about to do it some more because we had our neighborhood garage sale. I found a binder of DVDs at a yard sale.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, there's a lot of good movies in here. And she's like, make me an offer. I said, $5? She said, yeah. There's
no way.
There's 40 plus DVDs in here.
Oh, wow. For $5?
For $5. A lot of them I don't have. A lot of them I didn't have. So
right.
There is a software that you can get. There's actually 2 pieces of software I recommend. One of them is called Handbrake. It's handbrake.fr. It's a French company.
Would you say getting this from, because you got to be careful,
right? Yes,
this being
very
open
careful.
source software, where are you getting it from? Alternative 2, do they offer that on their website?
Ooh, good question. I will look. I believe they do. But it's Handbrake. So if you want to go to Alternative 2, look it up. I'll look it up while we're talking. But Handbrake, you download it.
.fr.
Handbrake.fr. You open the software, put your DVD in, you let it process for a second. The software will let you target the DVD when it pops in, and you can set it to be, there's a handful of presets you can pick.
Right.
And you click burn. And it'll rip it to an MP4. It'll include chapter markers. It'll list all the files it found, and you can have it do each individual file. You can just have it do the main movie. You can have it do all the special features, etc. The issue you run into is there's some of the DRM isn't supported by Handbrake.
Right.
There's another piece of software you can get called MakeMKV.
Right.
MakeMKV does DVDs in addition to Blu-rays. So if you have a bunch of Blu-rays you want to rip too, you can find a Blu-ray burner, and if you go to the MakeMKV, if you just Google MakeMKV and find their website, you can find a lot of these processes on what drives work best, specific drives that don't work for certain DRMs, specific drives that you can flash new firmware onto to support certain things. There's a whole community built on the ability to archive and rip DVDs and Blu-rays. So, yes, it's legal.
Yeah, it's legal if you own the movie, right?
The extent of my knowledge, is I own it. I paid for it. Right? There's a reseller market for DVDs and Blu-rays. You can find them at yard sales, secondhand shops, pawn shops, you name it. I have paid for it. I own it.
Right.
So, but if I don't have a DVD player, how do I watch it? I will rip it, and then I can put it on my Plex server and watch it however I please on whatever device I want.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's the other embarrassing thing from a couple of weeks ago, Shawn. Well, what was our last subject? Our last subject was Plex.
Yes.
And how Plex had raised.
Oh, yes. We talked about it on the show because
we had no idea.
We talked about Plex, and I had said, about 6 months ago, a year ago, they raised their price to $250 for the lifetime pass.
Right.
I don't think it was an hour after we stopped recording, and I saw an article that said Plex is raising their lifetime pass to $750 or $799. And I was like,
crazy amount.
Are you kidding me? We just talked about this. My ears were burning the whole time, apparently. So, I get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. There are some other things. Jellyfin is one. Some
MB
people have
is
said
another one.
Jellyfin. And then what is the other one? MB?
MB.
Yeah. MB is another one if you want to be able to watch this media. But for Roberta, if you don't have a DVD drive, even if you have a laptop, does this require a lot of power to be able to generate and make the DVD?
No, so ripping DVDs has been around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Ripping DVDs. I ripped a ton of my DVDs from when I was in high school and in college. So the mid 2000s, I was ripping DVDs with my Toshiba satellite laptop, right?
Yeah.
With a Pentium
Yeah.
4 in it. So, and there were other, Nero DVD burner was one that I used. There are a bunch of older programs that you had to pay 60, $70 for at Office Max or whatever. And you actually got a physical copy of the CD and you installed the software that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Nero, Movie Maker, Roxio, Toaster. There was actually a program called Toaster, which is how a lot of those DVD burner type things became known as toasters, because there was a program called Toast that would rip and burn DVDs like toast. But Handbrake kind of became the forerunner. It's simple. It's easy. It just does what you need it to do. And if you're a nerd like me, you can go in and tweak your settings and upscale, and you can do higher frame rates and do, up your bit rate and all that stuff. But for the average layman, it's pretty simple to just click and rip. And it's going to take time, right? If you have a 2-hour movie, it's going to take 30 to 40 minutes potentially to rip, based on the quality, right? If you're doing a single passing code, multi-passing code, obviously multi-pass is better. You're going to get better scan, better quality. But for a DVD, it's standard def, right? It's still 525i or 480p, depending on what region you're watching it in, or PAL, whatever the PAL format is. But
I'm just wondering, and I have to look at the program, and I don't have it on this system though. VLC, which is a great program.
The Swiss Army knife of media players.
It really is. I mean, I have been able to watch like old Flash. So we used to shoot videos here at the station, and we put them in Flash format. And, the tapes are long gone. We would just do it and export it to Flash. And I have the Flash video files, but, I don't have the AVIs that we originally created. So it was cool to be able to go back and actually convert those. But using VLC, you could watch some of that stuff.
Yeah,
and
so even if I'm on my computer and if I don't have Plex running, I have a shared media drive on my Plex server that I can just watch the files in VLC. So VLC it's called the Videoland. That's the name of the company that makes it. It's the best media player for playing. I don't even know how many media types it plays. It plays all of them.
And it's a free program. I mean,
it's free. You can donate if you want. It's open source. So if somebody wants to make a fork of it, and they just have to be able to provide that platform and any new code they make for free. But it's it's free, vlc.org, and you can download it. It's traffic cone. It's a symbol for the so Handbrake, make MKV, VLC, you're off and running. You're off to the races.
I like what Roberta's doing. She'll find a little better quality if she's doing Blu-ray, using Make MKV, being able to keep that up. But honestly, if she's, she just wants to be able to watch them when she wants to watch them.
So on the topic of watching,
right.
I have Plex on my TV, which we watch a lot of movies that we own.
What size TV screen was that? It
was a 55-inch. Until one of my boys decided to throw a block at his brother and hit the TV instead.
Oh, no. Was it instantaneous?
Yeah. So it's spiderwebbed pretty much right at the top. And we suffered through it. And the boys understood that they damaged the TV. They were not buying a new TV right away.
Right.
And so we survived with this little bit of a spider web. Not too bad. You could still see most of the image. It was fine. And this past weekend, Caitlin was out shopping at Costco, and we were talking about, well, why don't we're planning on getting a new TV. The boys are being better about not throwing stuff at it.
Right.
And Daniel must have sensed our energy about us potentially wanting to buy a new TV, because he went up and smacked the TV. And it's straight lines all the way across the entire image now. I sent Andy a picture of it earlier.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, Caitlin sent me, hey, I found this TV. Do you think I should buy it? I said, Danny hadn't, it was a whole thing. So I ended up going back to Costco later and buying a new 55-inch TV.
Right.
We bought a TCL TV, which is the same brand we had before, but it's not a Roku TV. It's
Oh,
a Google smart TV. So having to adapt, we haven't plugged it in. It's still in the box upstairs. This was this past weekend. So we've got a new TV. The old TV's out, but in the interim, we took a 32-inch TV that Caitlin had. It's a Sony Vizio from like
right.
2009.
Still works, right?
And it still works, and you can actually put apps on it. But we have an Apple TV plugged into it, so we can do all of our Plex stuff with the Apple TV via HDMI.
Right.
So it's still working, but it's just been a whole thing with our TV where the boys just, I mean,
They
it's
obliterate.
comical. It's comical, right? I mean, they're going to destroy everything I own, which is fine, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kids and TVs. That's pretty good. Is that why you didn't go with a 75 or an 85? But the price right now is great.
well, I don't think it's hard to picture this, right? It's like when I was a kid, you had a TV that weighed more than you did as a kid.
That's why nobody stole TVs. They couldn't carry it.
You couldn't carry them, and if they fell, they'd kill you.
Yeah.
So you didn't knock them over. They were on these massive TV stands, right? Or they just gave you, they made you magnetic with
Yeah,
the degaussing. So these small, thin TVs are so fragile that granted, this block had quite a bit of velocity behind it when it hit the TV. It did a number on it. And then Daniel just went up and smacked it the other day to give it the final one
afterwards. Yeah.
But so now I'm worried, like, do I even unbox this other TV? Do I even want to put it, like, do we just suffer with this 32-inch TV?
Yeah.
And, but so we got a new TV.
Good.
It's a QLED. It was $309.
That's not bad.
So it's not the end of the world, but we're not going to buy, an OLED for
Right.
for $1,200. That could potentially get ruined the moment I open it. Right. So
yes. Let me smack that TV again. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We've got more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd. Find us on the web, techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Shawn has been going down the rabbit hole here, looking at info. We talked about, Handbrake. We talked about Plex. We talked about Make MKV. You found there are alternatives to Plex other than a Jellyfin and MB.
Yeah, 90-something. It was a lot. Wow. Some I've never heard of, but Jellyfin and MB were the top two. There's one called Milo, Infuse, Servio. I mean, Android TV. There's a bunch of different ones. So,
as a reminder, too, we talk about these. These are a way that you have them on your computer. You'd be sitting in your TV room. If you've got, an app-driven television, you get the app for those, and you could watch it on your TV. It doesn't just mean content that you've ripped from DVDs. You've got a wedding video that's been digitized, or you've got a video from a party that you want to watch on the TV. You got people coming over. You want to show this video you put together. This is the way to do it. Home movies, yeah.
All of the stuff that I've ripped from all my family stuff, all of my family high 8 tapes, mini DVs, all live on my Plex server. So I have a very select few people that I've given permission to view from the outside that can come in and watch these home videos, so they don't have to stream them on YouTube, or I don't have to upload them to YouTube, etc. But I paid for my lifetime pass for Plex, so that allowed me to do that. But and then I was kind of blown away by this, but for Handbrake, there are 192 alternative tool results. And of course, the one that came up, and I use this all the time at work, is FFmpeg, which is a command line driven. We use it all the time for conversion of broadcast content to other formats. It's used a ton, an absolute ton in the broadcast industry on the back end for a lot of servers for media conversion. So FFmpeg is one. It's free. It's open source. There are GUIs that people have made with it. A lot of platforms are probably built on FFmpeg. But there are tons and tons and tons and tons of different ones. Make MKV is on here.
Right. And you can find these all at alternative2, that's TO.net, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. All right. Something to check out. Real quick, I'm going to see if we can get one of these to take a look at. Logitech has introduced the new Signature Comfort Plus 850L. It's a desktop mouse that features a soft palm cushion for extra comfort during long hours.
I feel like it's those wrist pads that we used to get
Oh God.
when I was growing up
Yeah.
that I never used for wrist pad. I used them, I
Me
used them
neither.
to beat my brothers with
Perfect.
because they were heavy and
Right?
they made a satisfying slap when you hit somebody with them.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd. Don't beat up your brothers. We'll
No,
see
don't
you
do
next week.